It's such a beautiful day, and I'm so excited to be here. Hello, beautiful people. Hello, boys and girls. Hello, mom and daddy. Thank you so much for catching us today. Welcome to another heartfelt conversation on our autism awareness series. I don't know if you caught the one we did last week, Thursday. If you did not, well, can I recommend that you go check it out on my Instagram handle, and it's Omowumi_talks. I'll spell that for you, don't worry. It's OMOWUNMI_TOKS. I had the amazing Lady Gigi, we like to call her Lady Ijiro Daniels, giving us back-to-back real life examples and scenario as a professional, or should I say, as someone who has provided care to children with learning disability and autism as well. But today, we are doing something really, really special. We are amplifying the voices of mothers who are raising incredible, incredible autistic children. So, as a mom coach, I know motherhood is really, really a deep journey. I'm sure you would agree with me. There are different phases, different, segments that we go through. But parenting a child on the spectrum brings unique challenges and powerful moments of growth, of love, and discovery. So these conversations that we're going to be having right now, they're not about having all the answers. And I want you to know that this is not a fix it, this is a ABC kind of thing. No, this is all about creating space for understanding, creating space for support, and creating space for inclusion. Whether you know a little or you know a lot or you know nothing about autism, I invite you to lean in, to listen, and to learn. So grab yourself a cup of tea, a cup of water. I have mine here. And let's hear together. We're going to be talking to a mom who is walking this journey with courage. She's walking with faith and with fierce love. Now, my amazing guest I have here, her name is Taiwo. In case this is the very first time you're meeting me, my name is Tux. Omomi Olunloyo, I'm a mom coach, like I said earlier on. But now let's go to my amazing guest that I have today. She's Taiwo. She's a change management consultant. Prior to this, she was a change director at UBS across several projects and program management, in terms of the roles she managed, both in the public and in the private sector, including the TRG Screen, NatWest, BBC, Transport for London, American International Group, AEG, and RBS, and I could go on and on. But it gives me great pleasure to bring to the platform right now in front of you here, Taiwo. Taiwo, say hello to everyone.
All right, thank you so much. I always cringe a little bit when people read off all these things that I've done, but thank you so much. It's a pleasure, a deep, deep, big pleasure to be here today, and I'm looking forward to the conversation. And again, thank you for the platform to be able to share my own story and my own experiences, and what continues to unfold
That's
um, as a beautiful book and a beautiful journey of
absolutely.
motherhood.
Absolutely. Thank you. Well said. Well, beautifully said. So let's start off this amazing journey, and let's start from the very beginning. So I have Tommy. Yeah. And I knew there was a point I was like, something is not quite right. But as a mom, and I have two older boys, I have a 16-year-old, I have a 13-year-old. Oh, you have to be patient. You know how you tell yourself, oh, everything will be all right. And that's what we say, that's what we hope. It's not just one of those cliche things, because some things happen with time. You give it time, give space. We know children develop differently. Everyone, you know. So I know my own moment. I want to say to you, when did you first notice to yourself and think, this child, you may not have even said it's autistic. I know some who straight away knew. I don't know how. I didn't. But when did you say to yourself, I think I need to pay attention? Or did you say, oh, I think it might be autistic? What was that journey like for you emotionally?
So thank you for asking. That's a fantastic question. And I try to think back and just try and pinpoint, when was the point? Um, but for me personally, I think I have to go a little bit back. So I would say I would go back as far back as probably about 10 to 12 years before my son. So I've got three sons as well, similar to yourself.
Yes.
Um, and I think it was about 10, maybe 12 years before my son, who's on the autism spectrum, was born.
Mhm.
I had a very close family friend who had a child who was autistic, amongst other things. So she was severely disabled.
Mm.
But I think fairly similar to yourself, the parents sort of felt, oh, let's give it time, let's just pray, and all of that. And I remember there was one thing the mom said to me, eventually when they sort of realized that things were taking a turn for the worse.
Mm.
Well, she said she remembered when the baby was born
Mm.
that she, um, it felt like when the baby was born, there was a oxygen deficiency.
Okay.
And so she felt like that contributed to sort of the deterioration in health of the child.
Okay.
But
Okay.
the moment I walked into that house, the first time I set my eyes on that beautiful girl, I said to I couldn't say to the parents at the time, but I said to my husband, I said something's not quite right.
Mm.
For a child that age, there was, potty training, toilety type issues, completely nonverbal. So there was, and I'm not a medical professional
Mm.
or anything in that space, but I think it's a motherly intuition. Anyway, or maybe it's a gift from God, I don't know. Because I have also been able to spot or identify
Mm.
other children that, I just know that they're on some sort of spectrum. And then
Yes.
if it's a parent I'm not comfortable, I can say to them, look, get this thing checked because I think this is what it is. But anyway, so when my child who's on the spectrum was born,
Yes.
I always wanted to have a home birth. So,
Okay.
on the third one, I'd already had the two in the hospital. I was like, this is a walk in the park.
Yeah.
So we had it all set up and everything was fine. And then I wanted to have a water birth. We ended up sort of I was saying the water was too hot. The midwife was like, no, sorry, it was too cold. She was like, no. And then got me out of water. Anyway, to cut the long story short, there was a lag
Mm.
between, that time and when the baby was born. And I remember when he was born, he didn't cry. So in
Okay.
fact, they had to then sort of, there was like doctors all over the house. There was all sorts going on, and we had to get rushed to hospital and the like.
Yes.
So that had always been at the back of my mind, what
Mm.
that family friend had said about, that time lapse and whether there was some sort of deficiency in oxygen or whatever else.
Yeah.
So that this particular child, I was always constantly on the lookout.
Mm.
So the moment my child wasn't verbal, they weren't walking,
Mm.
he wasn't potty training,
Mm.
there were so many things. So
Yeah.
I sort of knew that something was not right, but I didn't know
Yeah.
that it was them being on the spectrum. So then obviously went to the doctor, started to then look into what was wrong or what
Yes.
was right, I like to say actually,
Mm-hmm.
because I became so engrossed in this with my sort of project management expertise. I actually did my master's in um, my master's thesis. I looked at the subject of managing change
Okay.
from the perspective of a neurodivergent individual.
Oh,
And that was influenced by the fact that I had a child that had been identified as being on the spectrum.
that's amazing.
um, which was different because like you had this there. I had that a lot as well. I thought, oh, no one's ever explored, the field of project management from that space. But there are
Yes.
loads and loads of people who don't even know that they're neurodivergent,
That's right.
that are, high functioning. So
Yes.
I'm blessed. My son is on the high functioning spectrum. So
Yes.
in certain things, like he wasn't verbal,
Yes.
but he could read, which was really strange.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
So by the time he could put words together,
Yes.
he was miles. Literally, I think he was like two or three school classes
Yes.
ahead.
That's right.
So, but then there were other areas where he was really struggling.
Yes.
So he wouldn't talk to anyone. won't make friends,
Mm-hmm.
still doesn't socialize as much
Mm.
even now. So
Yeah.
he only has a very, very close knit group of, I think he only probably only even has one friend, but he's not social. He won't go out of his way to engage with people.
Mm.
No, there's just none of that. So back to your question about how I identified it. I think the experience with a family friend, and
Mm.
then obviously just having that thing in the back of my mind that, I need to just open my eyes about this child. And then when I started to see things like the nonverbal, all those things,
Yes.
I then sought help. And then eventually um, I was told that, he's on the spectrum.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. So insightful, different in terms of the angle. Unlike me, I was thrown into the deep. I was
Mhm.
guessing and trying to wonder what's going on. Is he deaf? I think for me, the highlight for me was when I said Tammy and he's not looking, I'm thinking, oh,
Hmm.
he's engrossed in the TV. I don't know if you're like me, mom, watching this right now. You're like, these children, this their attention spam, what they are
Hmm.
watching on, they focus their mind. And I said that
Hmm.
for so longer time. That was the very, very obvious one that you could pick up straight away for me. But I was like, you and this Cocomelon. At that point in time, it was Cocomelon was our favorite TV program that we were watching then. And we've swapped over now. We've gone to Baby Finn and Miss Rachel, and we have other ones we were watching. But at that time, it was Cocomelon. I was like, you and Cocomelon. But this the day that my eyes opened, and that's what I'll say the scales fell off, was when Cocomelon was switched off or wasn't even on. He was in the kitchen, the way my house is. So when you open the door, you see the kitchen and you walk, open the door and you come straight to the living room. Staircase is on the other side. But I don't know who on the TV, but they literally on it and it just opened straight to Cocomelon. And my child ran
Hmm.
like straight to the TV. You know, when you're going focus, when you say you know where you are going, it's not like this
Yeah.
mistake. Why is that deaf? It was that moment like he's not deaf. I don't know. It may be funny to a lot of people, but for me, it was like he's not deaf. Because I just concluded I think this child is deaf, but let's give it time. You know, I'm that one person who don't go to hospital. They don't know who I am. They've lost my name, my number, and I don't go to. I'm sorry, it's just me. I don't. You're tired, take drink water. You have a headache, drink water, go and rest. You know, pineapple juice, apple juice. We just do the juices, we rest, and I do my best not to go there. It's not one of, yes, if I have to, don't get me wrong, I will, but it's not my first. Let's go there. No, I don't want to
Hmm.
go there.
Same
It's not
here.
a happy
I
place.
actually have a phobia for hospitals. I don't.
It's for me, it's sadness, God forgive me, but it's just a place that is needed when it's needed. If you don't have to, please don't go there. That's the way I see it for myself anyway.
Hmm.
But anyway, so I wasn't quick to jump there. But when that happened, I was like, he's not deaf. Then something is wrong then because if he heard that, then why is he not
Hmm.
responding to me? And that's how the journey started. And I think
Wow.
the second realization for me as well, for those who are watching, because this session is more about being real and sharing real life experience. And for another mom, you know, another sister, another auntie, grandma, you're caring for a child, and
Hmm.
you can relate to this. You understand that you're not alone and you're not going crazy
Hmm.
because I thought something was
Yeah.
wrong with me. I was speaking everything. I was making note like, okay, I watch and monitoring. So this is just to tell you, mom, you are doing just fine. You are okay.
Hmm.
Everything will be all right.
Hmm.
Eventually, with time, with
Hmm.
patience, give yourself grace and patience. You know, and be compassionate, be kind to yourself. It's a lot of work, but
Absolutely.
you will be fine. Now, the second one, which
Absolutely.
I would just say briefly, is when I went to church, another child the same age as his ran into the church. I said, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. I turned to my husband in that moment. I said, has Tammy said daddy or mommy? I can't remember. Has he said any words? It was then it occurred to me that, oops, I've not heard
Hmm.
it. Has he said, you just get on with life is what I'm trying to say. Because if you
Hmm.
are like me, you are not looking for trouble. You are not looking for problem. You might see,
Hmm.
glitches, signs, here and there, but you'll be like, okay, noted, noted. Just like I said, I noted that if I call him, he doesn't answer. And I just said, oh, this child and TV until I realized he wasn't deaf and because
Yeah.
and then the second moment was that moment in church. And it was about 18, 20, 12 to 18 months. It was that in between that gap that I'm like, oh, so he should have said something.
Oh
Forgive me,
dear.
but that's me. Because I just like I said, I'm looking for problem. I'm not looking for, so I'm not looking for it. So
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, okay, he should say something. So I'm not like, I said, and I called Tammy, Mama, nothing. Dada, nothing. It's looking at me, smiling and everything, playing with me, but I'm not hearing anything. Okay.
Mm.
When we have our health visitors 2 years checkup, I will put that
Mm-hmm.
up. And that's
Mm.
how my
The
personally,
journey
that's how my
started.
journey started. When he was 18, because that's when the health visitor contacted me and we started the journey till date.
As I
And
said earlier, it's really strange that you said that. I was on the other end of the spectrum, on the other end of the scale. I was
mm,
literally picking everything. So my son was fixated with the washing machine. Like he would just sit in front of it for hours just watching it spin. And I was like, there must be something that's very right about this to not, you know. I
yeah.
was like, no, I don't understand this.
Mm.
So then I bought him a toy washing machine that could do the
Okay.
motions. Because sometimes we literally had to get a lock in our laundry room.
So he
That's how
doesn't
bad it
get
was.
in there.
Yeah, because he would literally sit there for hours.
Was.
And then I noticed that he would, because he was able to now put his hand in it,
Mm.
he then started to use other things to create
The
that
motion.
repetitive motion. So I was like, okay. And then I now noticed that when he was able to do that, he started to form words. So I was like, okay, so there's something here.
Mm.
That's how we landed with the speech therapist. Because I then went back to the doctors and said, look, I've something different.
Mm.
Where before he would want something, he would sign with his hands
Yes.
or just point.
Yes.
Now he attached the rotations to certain things.
Mm.
I don't know how to explain it. Like, when you know that something rotates and it's a circle. So
Yes.
it felt like at that stage he was able to say that this is rotating and it's a
Mm.
circle.
Yeah.
So then we saw, okay, that's a new word. We've not heard that one before. And then he started to pick other things, and the journey just went on from there. So I say all of that to say that it's important to really try. And I know, like you say, we lives, but to really try and own in
Yeah.
on what works for your child. Because
Absolutely.
even all of the things in the textbook
Mm.
or in the material that you're going to get given
Mm.
might not all necessarily apply. And you have to do the work.
That's right.
Because I was adamant that I wanted to understand. I
Yes.
was clear in my mind that my child was different, but
Yeah.
I knew, and I told myself my child is different in a good way.
Yes.
I'm not accepting of the fact that something is wrong with
Mm.
my child.
Mm.
They're just different in a very
Absolutely.
different way. And they understand people,
Yes.
they do things in
Yeah.
completely different ways. They told me at the start that he wasn't going to speak. There was all of these things going on, and now he can talk for England.
Yes. I know.
And even now, it's always a case of what's he going to say next? Because there is no filter. Like if you turn up looking like the sweet brother of the uncle's auntie, my son will tell you, what in the world have you got on? Did you look in the mirror this morning? And he'll say that to like a grown adult. So we just have to always constantly tell people, yeah, just be mindful that the way he understands the world is slightly different to the way you
Yes.
understand the world.
That's right. Yeah. I like the way you beautifully said it. And that's really the way
It's
it is.
important.
Yeah, because what is normal? I began to ask myself,
Yeah,
what exactly is normal? How, how, because some will say that's abnormal. Excuse me, what is actually
yeah,
what's normal? Are you sure you're not the one that is abnormal?
exactly. And that's the thing. That's the beauty of the being able to. I think God just orchestrated this in such a beautiful, because it was at the point when I started to look into this that then I was writing my thesis and I thought, wait a minute. And
Mm,
then I started to go into it, and I saw that the organization I was working with at that time
mm,
actually had a program where they specifically wanted neurodivergent people to come into the organization. And they
okay.
were able to demonstrate the difference in having these neurodivergent colleagues
Yes.
in certain types of work.
That's the word.
because of their focus, their attention, they can really fixate on one thing.
That's
And, whereas people like myself, my attention span is, glory to God. Um, so for me, it goes back to that point around what is normal, and I always say to people when I get the opportunity to talk about this, that it's important to understand and
mm,
accept the
yeah,
position that your child is,
that's it.
both in the family
Mm,
and also in your relationship as a mother who is parenting a child who is, I also don't like using this word, but I'll use it, differently abled.
mm,
They're unique in their understanding and their perspective of the world, and you
absolutely.
must help other people to understand
Yeah,
how they see the world, because everybody will always see the world from their own microcosm,
of course.
and it's important to bring people in
Yes.
to your world to say, look, this is how we experience the world.
Yes.
um uh so yeah, it's so interesting. I think we spoke about this just off the um but my sister-in-law, who also had her son a day after me,
Okay.
he's also on the spectrum.
Mm,
And so I've always sort of my next, if I do a PhD, this might probably be one of the topics that I would explore.
mm,
Why so many moms in that sort of age brackets,
yes.
particularly moms of children, in the global majority,
Yes.
have experienced, you know, those significant
It's a spike.
shifts,
Yes.
yeah,
It's a spike.
from the norm.
Yes, I agree. Totally. I agree. Lots of funny things going out and a lot of people saying
Oh
funny
God,
things,
yes.
but I agree with you. There has been a spike. I totally agree. And I think that's why this year I just spoke about it last year once with Reverend Victoria Lawrence, amazing, amazing woman of God who has a good foundation and knowledge and shares off Momo all the time. It gives me giggles every time I see her on the stage. But for this year, let's do something different and just, I started with my personal introduction. I just thought let's invite more people,
Yeah.
and I was intentional by bringing people that look like me because those are my target audience on this
Mm-hmm.
occasion because I believe that people who don't look like me, I think they get on with it. Allow me to use that word. And when I say get on with it, what I mean is that they are more aware, more open to it. People that look like me, we tend to, for lack of better word, very secretive and ashamed, maybe feel like you've done something wrong. And trust
Mm-hmm.
me, I had those feelings. I said, I had time over 40. So I thought, is it because I was over 40? But I was like, God, you give good and perfect gifts. So if you're like me, you go through the Bible, you dig deep inside and out
Mm-hmm.
and quote everything. Like, at this stage, this is what and I had to say to myself, talk some more, me. You didn't do anything wrong. I had to accept that. So there's a lot of peeling levels, freedom levels
Yeah,
I had to go through to get to this point now that my joy is still my joy. I'm still getting
absolutely.
on with life because
And you got to
for
own it.
yes, for moments in my life, in spaces and gaps, which is not very obvious to many, except those who were in my world at that point in time, will know that
Mm-hmm.
this girl has broken down. She's
Wow.
lost her shine, like someone said to me the other day. But once I went in and came out, went into my cave, into the valley moment, and all of those seasons. Once I saw that, I cried out all the tears I could cry for Africa, for everybody, for the world, generally, everybody. And I'm a good crier, I tell you guys. You don't want to see me cry. And once I started all of that, I just started the journey. So what do we do now? Now it's not action mode now. What do we
What
do? How do we
next?
do? What support is available? Because I started looking, just like you said, look at the right side of life, the bright side of life, because I've always been that kind of person naturally anyway, but by God's grace now it's amplified. So, okay, so Tammy is not talking right now. What do we do? How do we start? Like you said, speech therapy, occupational. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's go. It's expensive, yes, but let's go. Let's go. God will provide.
Yep.
And we just started. It's not a cheap journey, guys. So I'm not making. I'm smiling because you know what? You get on with it, yes. And we
Mm-hmm.
started that journey, and right now I'm looking at him right now, the happiness in my heart. And yes, I don't want to cry or get emotional, but the joy that fills my heart every time I
Hmm.
look at him, his intelligence level. Oh
Oh
my,
yeah,
oh Jesus. Oh, he gives me the shooter. Even my mom says to me, one day it's smart go.
yeah,
If you just need to spend a few minutes with him, you feel how he'll ring you around his arms and you're like,
yep.
you'll be like, what just happened right now? He'll just grab your phone and walk away, like, stay there and be talk. He's just a man of his world, and he's taking charge, taking authority. He knows what he wants, he knows what he doesn't want.
There
He's
you
very,
go.
yeah. And his words are getting clearer. And that thing for me, that's the joy to
Wow.
just, I'm gonna do it. Like I said, I'll write a book on it because I think I just want to share more because I've heard
I
other
mean, wait until he's fully verbal. Honestly, it will be like it's um it's phenomenal
yeah, I
because
can
you
only
don't
but imagine.
if you picture, as I said, my son was completely non-verbal. So I think at the initial point when he was assessed,
Mm,
um, for his age, he was expected to have about 250 words, and I think he had probably about 20.
okay.
And even those 20 were not fully, we could understand it, but someone who's not
Yes.
part of the family probably didn't get
Wouldn't.
it.
Yes.
I mean, you've seen him.
Of
In
course.
fact, there was a day we were having this conversation, and I think one of the first things he said to me was, which child?
Exactly.
and
Who are you talking about?
I was like, you don't know the half of it.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And that's why, and that's a beautiful journey of inspiration. And I know I said it to you off camera as well, that you were one of the very first person who boldly told me. And it made me feel like, oh, I'm not alone. So, because I was
Nope.
like, who is like me? Not in a negative way, but from a place of learning, because I
Yeah.
wanted to know more. I wanted to see the direction I should be taking because I'm
Hmm.
that kind of person. Once you start research, I could go a rabbit hole and keep going. And I wanted to go, the rabbit hole I'm going is the right hole and not, the
Hmm.
right focus. And so
Hmm.
when you said that to me, I'm like, okay. And for me, I think God deliberately did that for me because I was asking questions and I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
know who to call. I don't know anybody. I'm not seeing anybody. Am I the only
Wow.
one apart from those I see online? So when
Hmm.
you mentioned that to me that day, it was soothing, and that's the word it was very, very soothing in my heart. And I never forget the kind of
Oh,
person I
wow.
won't forget anyway. But okay, I'm hoping you're getting number one, apart from us entertaining you, because this is the show. I'm hoping that you're picking out what we are saying because I told Taiwo that this is not a serious. We were talking about glasses before you came in. This one, I was like, this is not serious, please. It's lighted and the ultimate goal is to encourage
Yeah.
parents, whether of autistic or non-autistic, and for a novice, someone who has no clue. I give
Yeah.
a very good example in church today. Um, Tam, Tammy is highly sensory. Picker, he puts everything in his mouth. Everything is let's taste the word through my mouth. That's the way I say it. Because like I said, I look at it from he's exploring his world, and that's how he explores his world with his mouth. He wants to taste it, he wants to feel it, use his hand. So there's this toy I saw in Lido. It has spikes. Think of a spike, but it's like a ball with
Hmm.
spikes out. He loves it. So he touch it, roll it around, and pull it in his mouth. So in church, he was doing that motion over and over again. And then a lady said to me, very full grown-up woman, that doesn't look like me, said to me, oh, he does like his toy. Oh, you need to take it off him. I smiled. I said he's enjoying exploring the toy. And she took her
Hmm.
eyes off me and I took my eyes off her and I said no word after that. But it just made me more aware that a lot of people do not know nothing,
No. No.
nothing, got a clue, you know? And but she accepted my word with grace
Yeah.
and she did not say anything back after that. I was going to go back and go give her a lecture. I just thought, folks, leave it alone.
No.
You've answered her, she accepted it. So let's leave it. I've told her he's enjoying the story. So it's not
And
disturbing
I think
anybody. Sorry?
just to put a positive spin on what you just said there,
Mm,
for me, the way I read that interaction is it's an it's another opportunity for somebody else not to label my child.
mm,
So just a simple answer.
mm.
They're expressing themselves through the toy.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Moving on swiftly. So there's no need to go into any labels, any finger pointing, and none of that. I don't have to
Absolutely.
explain the awesomeness of my child But the thing is, the realities, people will ask you, like you did, like you asked me,
Yeah.
people will ask you questions, and I'm always more than happy to answer questions
Yeah.
because I think that's where people learn.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm able to also learn and grow because we don't know everything,
Of course.
You see other people whose children are, sort of further advanced on the spectrum, for example,
Yes.
and they tell you some of the stories. And for me, I always take that moment to just get on my knees and say, God, I thank you because,
Yes.
you know, the journey is what it is.
Yes.
I'm grateful for the journey,
Yeah.
but I'm also grateful for the strength and I'm grateful for where you've placed me
Yeah.
in this wider context of the story because it could be further up, it could be,
It could be anything.
there's still so much to be grateful to God for.
Trust me. Trust me.
Absolutely.
Trust me. Like I said in one of the lives I did, check it out on Instagram, guys. All these things I'm saying, if you go to Instagram, you'll find them there when I started the series. And I said, autism is not an illness, it's not a disease, it's not something to be fixed. It's a way of life, it's a way of seeing things through a different lens. And because I'm seeing it this way, does not mean this way is wrong. You know how perspective is. I said that is what we need to look at it
Absolutely.
like AOS and Android. Some
Yeah.
people like AOS. There's nothing wrong with anyone.
Two
For
different
me
things.
now,
Yeah.
I'm not an iPhone person. Yes, I have iPad, I have, iPhone, but I won't go out of my way to go and buy an iPhone. If I'm given yes, I will use it. I'm an Android for life, if you know what I mean. And there's nothing
Same
wrong with
here.
that. And we need to appreciate that and allow me to say that's the new normal because that's what it is. We all cannot be the same. I think the world would be very boring if we all are the same. We need a bit of flavor, a bit of sprinkles here and there. And being kind, being compassionate, which is the message I want to share under this amazing Autism Awareness Month, is the ability to be kind, the ability to ensure that in everything that we are doing, for every person that we meet along the journey, along the way, we sprinkle a bit of kindness. We leave them better than they are. And if you don't have anything to say, if there's anything, pray for them and just move on. Say a kind word and just move on. Really, that is the message for Autism Awareness Month more than ever. Because trust me, I can't begin to tell you the challenges, a day's challenge, which we'll probably get there with Taiwo in terms of what a typical day looks like. And you will not, if I told you, I believe even if I tell you, you still perhaps will be like, she's adding a bit of sprinkle of salt, sugar, Maggi, that's really not, it can't be that, not, oh, come on, it can't be that bad. But you know what? It is what it is. I know my truth.
Yeah.
And those of us who are living this life, this amazing reality, we know how we're doing what we're doing. And we are,
Yeah.
like that we said, grateful to God. It's an experience. It's something that you don't know how
Absolutely.
to tell someone until you see that. I was telling my mom the other day, my mom was like, hey, you should do it. Like when my mom entered and saw, she was like, to God be the glory, great things he has done.
Right.
God. Okay, so moving on in this conversation now. Let's talk about common myths now, because I know, and I'm sure most people who have connections or ties with autistic children, they know the truth in terms of the reality for them. I want to talk about the common myths and conception about autism that we wish most people understood. So what I'm saying is that what is the common myth or misconception about autism that you wish more people understood?
Thank you. That's a great question. And this is probably going to be one of the most unconventional answers that you're going to get.
Mm,
But I hope that, all of the listeners will be able to resonate with all of the things that I've said thus far.
mm,
I'm one of those people that I go into a lot of detail where I need to go into a lot of detail. Like I will go and find things that
mm,
I need to find. But one of the things when I started on this journey, one of the first things I said was I wasn't going to do the conventional. I wasn't going to accept.
mm,
So I can't sit here and tell you, I know this is a myth about autistic children,
mm,
or I know that this is what people believe about autistic children, or
mm,
I know that this is how. No,
mm,
because from when I started this,
mm.
I one of the things I said was, God has given me a gift,
That's right.
and I'm going to take this and I'm going to mold it to
Mm,
the best of my ability.
that's right.
It's not going to be a walk in the park, that much I realize,
Mhm.
but I'm going to own this journey and I'm
That's
going
right.
to do it to the best that I can. So, to answer your question directly,
Mm,
Personally, I can't say that here are the things that I've seen or I've heard or these are the labels because all of those things in
mm,
my mind, and some people might be like, oh, you just locked it all away, you're not accepting and all this truth, all of these things, but that's their truth. It's not mine.
yeah.
So I've always been clear in my mind what my truth is. My child is exceptional. They're
Yes.
exceptionally different.
Yes.
And so for me, I've never been uncomfortable about talking about my child.
Mm,
So, for example, when it was nonverbal, and I hear parents do this a lot, like just making excuses. Oh, this child is not talking just yet.
mm,
Oh, we don't know what. And sometimes it comes from a place of not knowing. I get that.
yeah.
But for me, maybe because I'd already done this, like I'd already got the sort of read up quite early on,
Yes.
I never felt the need to talk about the myths or to make excuses for my child.
Mm,
Um, because what I wanted as my truth was what I just took and what I used.
yes.
So yeah, I'm not sure that I could answer that question honestly because I can't.
Mm,
I don't I don't accept that there should be labels
yes.
for children that are exceptionally abled. And so in that context, I don't go into the space of these are the things that,
Mm,
I think there are a number of really not good ones,
mm,
especially to do with physical features.
yes.
So that was a no-no for me to start with. So yeah, I just cringe when I think about how people label. I
Mm,
think it's that labeling thing that just doesn't. So no, I don't. But then, if I say one thing to answer the question is, it's important to always be able to answer people in
yes.
a way that you're clear in your mind
Yes.
who your child is, not what your child is, who your child is,
Mm,
and you're able to help people understand that.
that's right.
So when my son was non at the time when he was non-verbal, I used to say to people, he's actually on the spectrum,
Mm.
and that was that. If they don't understand it, then I'll be like, well, there's a little bit of reading and learning you need to do. See if you can come back with a piece of information next week that I don't know,
Mm,
and then we can have a conversation. I remember there was a day I know you said Tammy also has like sensory uh he has sensory needs.
yes.
My son is also uh very averse to stimulation.
Okay.
So if an environment is too loud, there's too much going on,
Yeah.
there's just too much,
Yes.
you know, it just creates a total sort of shutdown. And the beautiful thing about him is he doesn't shut down and he's on the floor crying, melting down. And no, he just literally shuts down.
Mm,
Like there was a day we were looking for him,
mm,
like we just couldn't find him. And I think what had happened was we had visitors come from back home. So the house was full. There
mm.
was a lot
Lot of
going on.
mm.
And so he probably just needed to
Calm
be
down.
away from the space.
That's right.
Well, we live on an estate, on a gated estate. So I think he, and what I'm saying, he was about 4.
Mm,
So I think he somehow managed to extricate himself
mm,
from the home space
mm,
without any of us realizing.
mm.
How you understand the smartness
Yeah.
of these children.
That
Because
we're
at that time, we had all of the locks on the door. There
of
was all sorts
course.
going on to make sure that he doesn't. And so we started looking for him. I was literally like dead. And you wouldn't believe about probably about 45 minutes to an hour later,
Mm,
the police turned up at my door.
mm,
He was in the back of the car. And he'd gone probably about, I don't know, 20, 25 paces away from home. But the
Mm,
thing is, away from home, we have this little pathway. He'd
mm,
gone into the busiest part of
mm.
where we live. And someone had just seen this random child on the road and they picked him up. And
Wow.
then they drove him all the way to the police station in the middle of nowhere. And then, do you know the funniest thing? A child that at the time was nonverbal, well, obviously he started to sort of form his words at that time, was able to tell them his name,
Wow.
his address,
Wow.
and then obviously the words were wobbled a bit.
Yes.
He directed them to the
To my
house
house.
and he told them that it all was the sensory overload. But the moment they came in, and I said to the police, I was like, he's on the spot. They're like, oh, we get it.
Mm,
We get this all the time.
mm,
But you can imagine the heightened, I don't even think it was fear. I think it was just a heightened awareness
mm.
of the journey that we were on.
Yes.
Because, and then I went online and I started to read about adults,
Yes.
adult children who were also on the spectrum who would somehow figure out a way to leave the home, and
Yes.
then the parents will have to go and find them and bring them back.
Yes.
So if my 4-year-old is doing this, we've got a journey.
Yes.
So you were saying there earlier about understanding seasons and phases. That was a season for us
Yes.
because the whole house literally went into, like, our house
Mm,
went into lockdown.
mm.
Like we would constantly, my husband and I, within the space of every 90 seconds, we're asking, where is
Crazy.
he? Yeah, like where is he?
We do
You know, because
that.
we just needed to know.
That's right. Yeah.
But then as he's gotten older and he's more verbal,
Mm,
now he will say, he would actually tell you, this is all getting a bit too much for me. I need some time.
mm,
And growing up the way I grew up in a typical Nigerian family and all the rest of it, I don't think in my wildest dreams, at 8 years old, I could tell my parents, sorry, this conversation is not going along the lines of where I wanted to
I've
go.
had
So I
enough.
just need some time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the first question is, hold on a minute, who's the adult?
No, you
You
get
know,
respected first of all.
it's just, and then that's the thing. That's the thing. You know, I have a friend who, um, again, as I said, when people ask me questions, I'm never trying to talk. We
Mm,
had a similar conversation to this, and
mm,
it turns out the one of the things she said to me in that conversation was, "Wow,
mm.
this was why I got into so much trouble growing up
Yeah,
because there was no filter.
that's right.
I would just say it as it is, and I just got slapped left, right, and center. In
Oh,
fact, so much so that I just stopped talking.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Isn't that sad?
yeah. Very, very. Very, very. What you just said just reminded me of another family who thought the son was very stubborn, very disobedient. He wasn't following rules and regulation until they came to the UK, and then he was diagnosed with autistic, and they were bawling like, "Oh my gosh, I've just beat this child for nothing." You know, when you're
Mm.
bawling like, "Oh my God, God forgive
Yeah.
me," and really telling God, God and the child, forgive me, because this child was doing everything that you thought is, like I said, from where we come from, you're stubborn, you're rude. You're rude.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You are rude. How can I be talking to you? You're not listening. You're not moving. You're telling me I'm coming. You're telling me, can you stop? And you have to, like I said, you need to be with that environment for you to get it. And if you haven't
Oh
been,
yeah.
well, what can I say? But you just be like, excuse me?
Yeah.
As
It
in,
takes a different strategy to
yeah. So
parent
I can
children
relate with
on the
that.
spectrum.
Yes, I can relate with that. And so I want to add to that to say that the educational system that we have here in the UK,
Good.
I applaud them. I believe that they're helping the system, perhaps not as much as I would like,
Yeah.
but they're doing something, and that's what I want to celebrate. Right? Something is better than nothing, and because they started this journey, I'm praying and I'm trusting God that you know we'll be in a position of power systems. We are creating rules and regulations, policies that will
Mm.
make this experience more smoother for those coming.
Mm.
Because I always say, or I believe that for everything I've gone through in my life is to make sure that the person coming behind me does not have to go through
The
half
same,
of what
yeah.
I have gone through. If nothing else, you should not go. My child, my family, my friends, those
Yeah,
connected
yeah,
to me, for
yeah.
as many people who knows talks, she'll be like, let's call talks. She will help us. That is what I want to be. I want to be that because you shouldn't have to go through that journey and feel the same pain, the same suffering, the isolation, the
Mm,
asking questions and feeling lost and alone and all of that. I
mm,
did that so that you don't have to do that. I believe
mm,
that's what
mm,
we are here in this world to do, to help each
mm,
other. We are all pieces in the puzzle. We are all neatly together. It's like a ripple effect. Once Stokes
mm,
sorts it out, it goes like that. We all feel the impact and it just makes
mm,
it a less lighter. That's it. I'm not saying it's going to disappear, and I'm not trying to
mm,
be Jesus Christ. I've learned that very quickly
mhm,
that my
mhm,
blood do not
mhm,
do anything for anybody. So I'm not trying to save the world, but I'm trying to, with the best of my ability and my heart, and give and share from a place of
mhm, mhm.
everything I've gone through so
Yeah.
that your experience, and that's what I believe the education system is doing. Um,
Mm.
one of the things I have realized,
But I think I'm sorry to speak over you, but I think there is so much more to do.
I agree.
I think there is not enough. Again, I struggle to use this word, but personally, I feel like there's not enough societal acceptance
Yeah, no, 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 that's you're right.
of people's exceptional abilities
Yes.
to allow them the space
Hmm.
to grow in a way that the exception is even more advanced.
Mm.
And I'm speaking very strongly in parables.
Yeah, no,
But
for those of us who get it, we get it. And if you don't get it, forget about it. It's fine. That's it. No, 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 no. Like I said, there are some
it's
things, there are some unspoken language, unspoken words that we know. That's why I said to you that they are doing something and I want to celebrate that. If you heard me, I chose my words very good. I'm not trying. If you listen to me carefully, see, I'm very positive in my. There's a lot of things I could say that would be on the other
oh
side.
yeah.
And I have a lot to say. I promise you. I made a decision. It does not
Yeah.
serve me. I don't need that
No,
energy. And that is not
you
what I
won't.
want to pass across. So I will stick to the
Yeah.
bright side of life. I wear glasses as you.
Absolutely.
I get paid to, you get paid to see me. So that's what I always say. So I want to make sure you're seeing me clearly and you're getting my message. Yes,
Yeah.
they are doing something. And I think the angle I was going about it is because I'm in the early years system, I know for a fact, that some parents that look like me still do not believe that something needs to be done, and that's the word I want to use because
Yeah.
you need to do something. Right, wrong is not the point. You need to do something. You need to accept
Yeah.
some information. We need to
Yeah.
take it to the next step by saying the doctor,
Yeah.
GP is not
Yeah.
a flogging matter. It's not
True.
an
Yeah. Yeah.
exorcist matter. It's not an
Yeah.
isolation matter. If
Yeah.
you know who and you can connect with me and you need help, please send a message to me. Send a message. Go and see your GP or go and see a child pediatrician or call your health visitor. They
Hmm.
genuinely, I believe they can steer you in the right path. But every other thing that is anti that, for lack of better word, that is not loving your child. That's all I'm
Hmm.
going to say on that. It's not loving your
Yeah.
child, regardless. He's
Yeah.
rude. That's the word we say. He's disrespectful. He's not
Hmm.
listening to instruction. How dare
Hmm.
all of that? I beg you in the name of God, especially if you are coming from if you're in the Japa syndrome, especially because I have a few of that as well.
Hmm.
Lots of that, and not even a few, who
Hmm.
their children are actually on the spectrum on or
Hmm.
ADHD and all the whole shebang. Because from back home, there's just, for lack of better words in Yoruba, confile,
Hmm.
otile. I'm trying to speak in Yoruba
The
now. Those words
child will get over it.
they just abandon and just let the child. No, there is a way out. There is a way.
Yeah.
I promise there is a way out. So I'm grateful for the educational system. I'm grateful there's something in place. It will get better. Like I said, policies, procedures, everything that we are praying. We are many. That song that say we are many. We are many. We will get there. It's only a matter of time, but we'll get there. So this conversation, as you can see, is interesting, and we are going in all different angles. We are keeping it real. There's no gatekeeping here. It's about sharing honestly from what I know, what I've been through, what I've read. I am not an expert in any shape, form, or size. Neither is my amazing guest here. She's just a mom who has been there, done
Yep.
that, has a t-shirt, and she has amazing.
Continues to do it.
There you go. See, she's still wearing the t-shirt. And we are here from a place of love and saying that inclusion more than ever is more than you can imagine. That co-worker in the office that you
Yeah.
think, something is not quite right upstairs. They're right upstairs. I promise you, if you sit and have an intelligent conversation, you'll be amazed at the quality of information you have inside
True.
that they can give that will make your own life easier, smoother,
So much easier.
faster,
Yeah.
just by being kind, just by being compassionate, a cup of tea, a smile, a compliment, and boom,
True.
all of a sudden. And some people you touch them and they go like that, you're wondering, well, trust me, you don't understand the half of it. You don't know the half of it. It's not because they're trying
Wow.
to be nasty or trying to be unsocial. Um, they're differently different. That's it.
Yep.
Their world. And it's okay. I like my hugs.
Absolutely.
I love my hugs. I swear to you. Anybody I say, I'm happy to jump and throw at you. In fact, I've done it and somebody done, and I was like, oh my gosh. If you're like me now, if I do that now and you do like that, so I'm very cautious now not to jump at people anymore or to touch people. Because when I'm talking, you see my hand moving, hands are everywhere. I'm now intentional in when I'm meeting people, read them, try and, see if we're on the same level and acceptance in terms of what I like and what you like. And I flow with you and try to mirror you in terms of your energy. If I see your hands are going, I'm like, I think we'll get along. If this person is quiet, the more, and it's like, okay, let's do quiet. We can do quiet for a few minutes. I'll be all right. I guess what I'm trying to say is that a little bit of love, a little bit of compassion will make a massive difference to the world that we are living in right now. So
Does.
I'll ask two more questions because we could keep going on and on this great topic. Let's talk about a typical day because I mentioned that. Let's talk about now. Let's don't go back now. This is where we are right now.
Today.
Yeah, what does a typical day look like for you and your child?
Ah, if I want to answer that question honestly, and I'm sure you're going to get this a lot with, especially moms who have kids on the spectrum.
Mm.
For us, there's no typical day
I'm not surprised.
because most of the time we're dealing with a different variation of a different thing,
Mm,
and that sounds like a conundrum.
mm,
But what I'm finding now is that if there is something about my child that I don't understand, or there are certain things that are manifesting,
mm.
I need to go back to the source. And if I haven't identified what the source is, I need to find the source. It's going to sound a bit cryptic, but if you think, for instance, if my child is not eating,
Mm.
or I think the season we're in now is something to do with food,
Okay.
and we've never been here before.
Okay.
So, and I say that because I know that, remember I mentioned earlier that my sister-in-law also has her son who is not too dissimilar from my child,
Yeah.
but he, way back when,
Mm.
just has always had something with food. So he will only eat certain things. And this was only me speaking to her a few months back.
Are
And
you,
then she shared that, this is
mm,
the journey that they've been on. And then that helped me to stop and think, hold on a minute.
mm,
We've had persistent constipation for a long time.
mm,
And that has led to a series of other issues.
mm, mm.
So, like issues.
Yes.
But I've been battling with that for weeks, months, and I couldn't get to the sort of crux of it until I had this food conversation. And then I thought, hold on a minute. Is there something in this diet that I need to check, that I need to edit? Is
Yes.
there something that I need to do differently?
Mm.
Or how I pattern? Sorry, give me 1 minute. I
Okay.
apologize.
That's all right. That's all right. So the whole point is that with autism, everyone is different. And remember, it's a spectrum. It's a spectrum. That means no 1 2 day is the same. Remember, we're talking about is what does a typical day look like? And what Taiwo is trying to share with us is her understanding of food or how she got into food. Okay, I'll let you, she's back.
Yes, before I was pleasantly interrupted by said child. Um, so I, I think what that allowed me to do. So let me go back to the question around a typical day.
Mm,
I was able to ascertain what season we're in because I'd spoken to another mom and I could
Yes.
use the sort of picture or the image that she painted to look at my own journey again and think, okay, is there something I could do differently here?
Yes.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I figured out the constipation, I figured out the food, or we're now fine, we're eating okay, and all of this. No,
Mm.
we still are quite picky
Yes.
when it comes to what we choose to eat.
Yes.
And it still then impacts on all the other things that the food impacts on.
Yes.
But you'd be pleasantly surprised, or maybe not, to hear that this food thing also then gravitates into behavior.
Of course.
So we'll have days when, you know, it's just a complete, oh, we're not eating, we're not talking, I'm just not doing this, and you can't make me.
Yeah.
I've sat in a meeting with the class teacher, and she's said things along the lines of, "I can't just make him do anything. I just can't."
Mm.
And I've just had to remind them that yes, but this is the nature of what we're working. This is the context of what we're working with.
That's right.
So yes, I will talk to my child, and you know, he's the kind of child that you can sit down and if you can articulate. I think that's one of the things that this has actually really helped me as well is you have to be able to articulate a point in a way that resonates with
Yeah.
your child.
That's
Because
right.
if you can't, you've lost them.
That's
You can
totally.
speak till the cows come home.
Mm.
There's no connection. There's no link. They
Yeah.
can't paint a picture in their mind of what you're talking about and
Mm.
what they're thinking.
Yeah.
So taking that back to your point, no day is typical.
Yes.
There are times, there are seasons. We just have to try to work together to understand. As
Yes.
I said, we're in a sort of food. And for someone that doesn't like labels, I always want to put some sort of context to things in my mind because that's the way my mind works.
Yes.
So to answer your question, we're in a food season at the moment.
Okay.
We're understanding what that means contextually from a feeding,
Mm.
and that impacts feeding, it impacts bedtime, it
Yes.
impacts wake up times, it impacts social interaction,
Yes.
behavior, you name it, it's all wrapped in there.
Indeed. Indeed. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. I think
I
for
hope
me,
that answers the question.
like I said, there's no right or wrong answer, remember? Because your reality is different from my
Yeah.
reality. And I'm sure there's one mom who's like, oh, thank God I'm not the only one right now watching this. Or another mom who will be like, oh, okay, that does happen. Because everyone goes through different seasons. Like you rightly said, you are
Yeah.
just experiencing that food season now. See, I have experienced food season from when he was already from 12 months, 8 once he started
Wow.
eating already. So I've already gone through that phase already. I'm still going through that phase now. We are, in fact, I've seen a dietitian because that's how worried I was. Like, this boy's just eating
Um,
3 foods every day. And I'm like, Lord have mercy. What kind of mom am I? Allowing him, but I'm like, I have to give him, he has to eat something. But I'm like, it doesn't
yeah.
feel right. There's variety of food. But I tell you, with the blessing for me, remember, I'm choosing my words carefully, everyone. Moms, girls, ladies, and gentlemen, the blessing in all of this is that I have had no issues health-wise with him, apart from going to
Yeah.
nursery with a cough, cold, catarrh, which is normal. There's
Mm.
nothing that is out of the ordinary. I'd be like, oh my God, no. In fact, the dietitian,
Wow.
when we went for the first assessment, she said, he's having a balanced diet. And I'm a food technologist, guys. I know food. I know classes of food. But I'm a mom on this instance, worried because my child is just having the 3 foods, and I'm being serious.
Mm.
So he has cereal, and cereal is basically Weetabix when I say cereal. So anything brown,
Mm.
let's put it that way. So it doesn't have cornflakes, it doesn't have Kellogg's and all. It's literally brown. So brown flakes, Weetabix, anything that is brown in color, that's what he will have with the milk. And I try to sprinkle a bit of sugar in there, or I put fruit in there. So he will take sultanas, or I crush banana mixed to it. So he will have that for breakfast. And then for lunch, it is our good old chicken nuggets. So my house is never running out of chicken nuggets. That's it. So crunchy stuff. That's one of the things I realized. He likes crunchy stuff. So that's our lunch. And then for dinner, we play around with whatever we can find, ranging from plantain. We realize he likes plantain. So I do it in the air fryer. I don't like frying because we're trying to do healthy living. So we use the air fryer. So he'll like plantain. I have tried Indomie, spaghetti, all of that. It's not working.
Mm.
And so we were on that regime for so many years. And still, I say so many years, I'm still
Mm.
on it as I speak to you right now. Now, the beauty of it is that he eats fruits. Any fruit you give to him, he will eat. And that has saved me because I was worried when I started this journey of reading the health. Because
Well,
what
we
I
have
did
that
is
now that you say that actually, we have that as well. Because I thought it was really strange that a child would love fruit so much, but
yeah,
we have that. My
yeah,
son too. I don't understand it because
yeah.
I don't like fruit.
Well, I love fruit.
I only have one or two that I eat
Oh,
and
no,
that's
no,
it.
no. I eat all the fruits in the whole world. I eat everything. Guava. Right now, what I'm drinking is he drinks grape fruit juice, guys. My son drinks grape. He drinks grape juice. Tammy drinks grape juice. He's 4. He drinks grape juice with me. I was scared to give it to him, but I'm like, he likes it. If I once he sees the bottle, and that's the thing, they recognize it. Once you bring it out,
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
he will
Especially
come
the
for you.
colors.
Yeah, he will come for you, and like I want. So he eats everything. Watermelon, I'm trying to get him now to cucumber to add some vegetables to it because most of the vegetable we puree them, but fruit, no. So I've not had any issues with constipation and all of that, which was one of my
Wow.
greatest concern because I, growing up, had it's not constipation now. I using the toilet was um Oluwase. Basically, I'm saying, Lord, do it. I struggled. There's a name for it that has jumped my head now, but I would take tablet. I would take Senacort. I would take tube to insert inside to it was not.
Gosh.
So I know the first hand, not story, real life. I know the medicines because I've used them, I've done them, I've tried them. Just to, in fact, sometimes I would chew sugar just to sweeten and soften. I have done it all. Yes, so that everything can come out of my body. So I was praying to God, my child, Lord, I've gone through it. My child cannot go
Oh,
through this. It's not. That's why I said
it's not
something.
nice.
No, it's not. And apparently my grandma was like that as well. So I was like, my child, I bind the devil, this cross the line, everything, nothing. So when he took to fruit, I was like, thank you, Jesus. And so he would take smoothie. So I make smoothie for him. I'll give him juice, and we have 5 fruits. I'm one of the moms that can hand on heart say that my child have 5 fruits, 5 portions of fruit every day. Yes. So that has saved me the trouble of that because it was a concern because I have been there, done that, one the teacher, like my
Mm-hmm.
child is not going there. So I'm saying this to say that we went to the dietitian, I explained this to him. She was like, he has milk, he has protein, he has carbohydrate. And she weighed him. We went back in 6 months and my child has gained 5 kilograms. Said, your child is fine, please be going, don't come back. You have a healthy
Mm.
child. Yes, he's stuck in his routine, but he's actually having a healthy diet. And she just said,
Mm.
get omega-3, which I will just get him multivitamin. She said, get omega-3. She gave me, some other thing for brain development. He likes nuts. That's another thing. He likes nuts. Crunchy nuts, remember. So cashew nut, pecan nut, hazelnut. And I make cereals, guys. So I have a few nuts in the house. My husband loves nuts as well. So there's always nuts in the house. Handful. So once he sees the bottle, it's already coming. Can I have some?
Mm.
I will start shaking. So he does get a bit of brain food. That's what we call nut, brain food.
Mm-hmm.
Almond, especially, we call almond brain food, but he does get a bit of brain food and brain power. And then I got the omega-3. And the one thing I would say is that sweet things, nah. Cakes, chocolate, sweetened drinks, orange juice, nah. You give him, it's almost like puking, like, what did you give me? I'm telling you, he's not, he's not having it. So it was a struggle giving him gummy bears
Oh
as
yeah.
a multivitamin because he would just throw them off. The moment I put it,
No.
after finding there all the gummy bears, thinking in my head that he has taken it, I found it stuck around on my house. Like, this boy is not eating this thing. So I stopped buying them. I went back to liquid. I went back to
Mm.
liquid medicine. I guess I'm saying this to say that there are different seasons, different phases,
Yeah,
and we went through everything.
absolutely.
When I wasn't clear, I got help. Did you see how I said I saw my way and I said, this is not quite right? And
Mm-hmm.
that was offered a dietitian and with their support and encouragement. So now don't worry now. We're happy with our 3 days routine and we're gently introducing more things. Now he eats
Yeah.
solid. That made me very happy. So he will eat
Mm.
muscle in the stew. And I'm like, thank you, Jesus. So we're improving, of course. And we celebrate as well. In terms of the new addition of food, he's eating chicken now, he's
Mm.
eating meat now, raw, not in coated form. We are moving, we are growing. He's a protein
Yeah.
lover, but it's a journey. And it feels so weird. He's not eating rice. I know of all food, he will not eat rice. No matter what shape
Yet.
you decorate it, nah, not for me.
Yet.
Yet. Yeah, he's not at the moment. So
Yet.
we're
Yet.
happy with where we are right now. We're enjoying
Yet.
food,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
eating.
Because I think that the food thing, as you say, is it's a journey and it's phases.
Yeah, it is. It
Because I
is.
remember my son never used to oh, I can't remember what it is now. I think it was so he would only eat rice with stew.
Mm.
So he won't eat fried rice. He won't eat rice in any other variation. He won't eat rice with anything else on it. So if you
Mm.
make like mince sauce or whatever,
Mm. No.
and then one day, just out of the blue, I think my mom made some jollof rice or something. Maybe I made some, I can't remember. And he tried it and then completely switched. Just like that.
They have the power to do that. And that's the beauty of the journey, like I say. And another thing I forgot to mention as well, in terms of our fruits, remember I said he eats all fruit, but it's all seasonal. So we start with
Mm,
apple. I'm trying to remember how we start. No, we start with banana. Yeah, so you because it's I try to do portion control with the banana. So
mm,
what is 80 gram and all of that. So you have one banana, you have two satsumas, you have a handful of grape, 1 spoon of sweet corn, 3 heap spoon of green peas, make it all to be 5. And then after a month or two, he'll be like, when you offer it to him, he'll be like, no, we just do his hand like this. And that's why he's in English you say vocabulary, but it's not vocabulary now. His knowledge or his awareness of fruit expanded because I had to now go and bring blueberries and bring strawberries and bring mango
mm.
and bring orange and then do it into the quarters and put it on the table and see if he will take it. And he will take it and then I'll walk away again. And sometimes he will just do his hand like this, like no, and that's what it's so funny the way that he just like just do like or he will just slap your hand like who sent you a message? Allow me to use that word. Just slap your hand like or just do like this, or you just walk away. Like it's for you, not for me. So that's how we started doing it. So we keep swapping food, swapping fruit, swapping vegetables. He's gone off apples now because I've noticed now he will just crunch the first month and throw the rest away. He's not eating it anymore.
It's really funny because I always find that switch when they change from one thing to the other. I don't know whether other moms notice it,
Yeah,
but it's quite abrupt.
yeah, it is. It is because
Like
I'm.
literally one day where, like I was saying about the rice thing,
Mm,
it was like consistently, like we're not eating anything else but this.
yeah,
And then you just wake up one day and it's like, oh,
I found something
no, we're
else.
not doing that anymore.
Yes. Literally. And right now, we flipped. Normally, we have cereal in the morning. Now we're having cereal for dinner because when you make it in the morning, he's not having it anymore. I've thrown enough cereal and I've asked God for forgiveness because I've had my portion of food. I'm not eating anybody's leftover. I've said I'm not doing that anymore. How is mom? Nah, I'm not eating it. So if my husband wants, he does. But most of the time, it just goes in the bin or I put it in the fridge and then he has it for dinner if it's still okay. But now we're having cereal at night because he's not having it in the morning. So we're having nuggets in the morning.
Oh, wow.
So it swaps. It's just going with the flow of the change and his sleeping pattern. Don't let's go there. The Lord is our shepherd. I don't even want to start that one, but it just switches. It switches. And he's like me in terms of when I'm awake, I'm awake. I'm not the one that be like, and we have those who be slowly. Once I'm awake, I'm awake. I get up and I'm like, you think, did you just wake up 1 minute? Yes, I just woke up, literally, but I just get on with it. You just, when we started this conversation, you were like, I'm like, yes, I literally just woke up because I set my alarm for this time and I knew I woke up and I just jumped, but once I start, if I tell you I slept now, you'd be like, no, she doesn't look like the same person, but I'll be fine. And that's what I said to you. I said, so he's like that. Once he wakes up, bam, let's go.
What
Let's get
next?
up. Whether
Yeah.
it is 2 a.m. or it is 1 a.m. or it's 3 a.m., we are awake and that's it. So it's night vigil till whenever again so I had to change his nursery after paying in fact, I don't know why I did not do that earlier on to his sessions to be afternoon, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Yeah.
because we were doing 9:30 and we didn't go because by the time he woke up, the session is over.
Mm.
session is over. So because he was awake all through the night. And then when it's
Mm-hmm.
7, 8 o'clock in the morning, he now wakes up and then okay, okay, let's go and sleep now. I'm like, everyone is going to school and going to work here. Now a guy doesn't want there's nothing he will do, he will sleep. If it's time to sleep, he will sleep. And he will sleep anyhow and anywhere on the trampoline, on the bouncy castle, on the chair, head upside down. It doesn't really matter. You know those jokes or memes they put around that those who don't pay bills, show them us. I almost want
Yeah,
to
yeah.
pass. And if you are like me from where I come from, there's something we call the back of the head. You just give that like the pum like that. I almost want to do that, but like I'm punishing myself if I do that because this child has kept you up. You don't want to add more salt to it. You better just leave this child gently. For those who don't understand what I'm saying, I'm basically saying that I just look at him and think, Lord have mercy. I should just wake you up and keep you and make you feel a little bit of what you have just kept me
The
through. But I have
pain.
to reconsider and tell in whose interest and go back to focus. But I say this to say that I agree with you. No 2 days are the same. We constantly are changing and switching. We are learning pattern and methods and systems that we can put in place. One particular one which you mentioned as well in terms of fixation, in terms of washing machine. For my son, it was a cotton. I have a black and white pattern cotton. Oh my gosh, it was so scary. You think he's having a conversation with the ghost and with the god. That's why I always say I'm like, he's talking to the gods again. That's the way. If you look, if it's my life is, you have to keep it fun. You have to look at things on the bright side. Forgive me, but
Mm-hmm.
that's what I do. He will just sit down and he's there and they will start this conversation that him and the gods understand because I definitely don't understand the language of the god, at least from his point of view. And they are talking and he's kicking his legs and pulling. The other day, I had to take a picture and show someone. People were like, "What's he doing there?" I said, "You need to go to the gods and ask them. Maybe they will tell you, and you can come and tell me because I ain't got a clue. I don't speak gods at this moment."
I don't know.
And we had to change that curtain for lack of better word because it was getting that bad that number one, my house is not a house that demons is not go. You need to get the memo. So my house is not where they can come and sleep. So I know there's none like that in my house.
I
But
know what come here.
as in, didn't you get the mail from where to where? Whose address? No, now. So we just had to change that curtain. So we changed the curtain to a plain curtain, and that's the end of staring at the curtain and gazing to the gods. It was bad, I swear to you. At night, he will stay there looking. Even when you switch off everything, he can still see. Laser vision, tunnel vision, Superman eye, he can still see. And in the dark, he knows where everything is. He will go and navigate and so we cleared the room, cleared. So there's nothing we have not tried. So when he's sleeping, everything needs to be bare. If he's not bare, he's going there. He'll pull everything out, open the cupboards, pull the doors. Even the latest one is the lights now. We are now traffic and controller of lights now. If you switch off the light, he will on the light back for you. It was doors, open the door, you close the door. He's doing everything. So when you do, you're going to do the opposite of it. So I was just looking at it, the light is on. I was like, this boy has on the light again. I said, you know what, it is well. On the light of the house everywhere goes around checking everywhere, everywhere. He knows where the light switch is, so you go and switch on. It's on now. I just noticed now
Wow.
that is on now. I was just looking at it. So most nights, yeah. Anyway, different faces, different seasons, different things happen.
Yes.
And there's a funny one that I will not say, or maybe I will just mention briefly, which is the pooing one, whereby they touch it and they are smearing everywhere in the house. Oh my gosh, that was a season. If there's any season in my life, I prayed to God that God save me from this. It was that one because I can't go
Mm.
out now. And then this will happen. He would then, I said, what story would I start? I prayed heaven, earth, everything out. And the moment that stopped, I said, thank you, Jesus. But that season felt like a long time in my life. But it
Yeah.
was constant cleaning, constant watching, constant
Mm-hmm.
eating. Ah, Jesus. I was like, stomach, intestine, all
Yeah.
of you
Yeah.
joined together. Lord, save
Yeah.
all kinds of things. But ah, it's an experience.
Yeah. I can relate to that.
It's an
Hmm.
experience. So I'm grateful I'm out
I
of
can
that
relate to
zone.
that.
And so if you are just starting that journey, take it from me, it will pass. This too.
Amen.
It will, I promise. Take it from me.
We've not had smearing, but we've had a lot in that space.
Yeah, no, we had
And
lots of
we're
smearing.
still working on it.
Yeah, so I had to
And
clear everywhere.
it's a weird one because it's not something even at school, it's not something I personally feel comfortable talking about.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't want to go too much in there, but I had to go read and watch videos, and I heard that it is not uncommon. It doesn't
Mm.
happen to everyone, but there are a percentage and a high percentage
Well,
actually.
how did it start?
If I tell you that I know how, but tell you that I prayed, I want to believe God heard my cry because it's
Yeah,
bad, it's scary
it's a
because
lot.
he will dip his hand in there and paint everywhere. So I have to
That
constantly
one is a lot.
Yeah, so I have to constantly clean everywhere. I have to look where he has gone, where he has, and because we are in nappies at the moment in terms of our face right now, if we're in the toilet, then yeah, perhaps it will be reduced. But he knows he has done it, he's done his business, and he'll put his hand there and paint everywhere, literally, and then put it into his mouth because he's speaker as well. And so that was so you literally just like you said, anywhere we are in, but like is Tammy with you? It's literally till now we still do that, even though he has stopped that, but he will still pick anything to
Yeah.
taste it, to explore it. So we lock
Wow.
the doors, the bathroom door, the toilet door.
Oh yeah, the door locking, yeah.
You need to do it when he's not looking at you on how you lock it. The moment he figures you turn it like this, my son is going to go and
You
turn
know
that
what
all
we
of the door.
did? I'll
What?
tell you what we did. Because
Yeah.
yeah, but that one, even my lock, if you get a spoon, you can
Turn it.
open it
Yeah.
so he knows that.
And that's what I'm saying.
You know, there's I don't know what they're called. I think it's like a hook and the ones that slide into a little hole. You find
Okay.
them a lot in Nigeria. They're like locks. They're like L locks,
Like
and then
this?
you
Is
just
it like
push
this one,
it.
like this?
Yeah, and then it
Okay.
locks. The other part of it is on. That's what we had to do.
Yeah. So,
So we
so
had to install that, and then we didn't install it at hand length.
his
We
level.
installed it on the
High.
top.
That's what nurseries do. They put the lock up because I was wondering why did they always put everything at the top? I went to a play center as well, and everything was at the top. I'm like, why? It made sense quickly when I started experiencing what is going on in my house.
Yeah,
I said that's why.
particularly the washing machine thing. We had to put a lock in there because it was like he would go and run the machine. How he figured out how to turn it on,
Yeah,
how to all of this, but he will run the machine with nothing in it.
yeah, yeah, because they are
And then
intelligent
just
like
sit
that.
there.
Yeah,
Like I always find
enjoying the
myself
view
yes, glory to Jesus.
as the all to myself, only me.
Live, yeah. Like I could just be here doing my own thing without all these people disturbing my life.
Yeah,
And then the moment he disappears, we're all constantly in the house. Like, where is he?
easy. Yeah, yeah. It makes
Because
literally
he
leaves
will
me
watch
here.
you. The
Yeah,
moment he knows that everybody's in the middle of something or you least expect, it's like he just disappears. And then my mom will be like, go and check in the utility room. He's probably in front of the washing machine.
yeah.
And 99.9% of the
Plenty,
time,
yeah, yeah. They
yeah.
always have a safe spot. Tammy's one is by the staircase. He always likes to sit by the staircase. So if he's not there, then you need to go and find out where he is. His new spot right now is my bedroom now. He will leave here and just go upstairs to the bedroom and go and stay on the bed. I'm like, Tammy, let's go. He won't. You drag him. So I said, just leave him. Just make sure he doesn't go to the window because he will go to the window, stand there, and because my window is facing outside, I'm like, before they think he's calling for help. SOS, please go and get
Smile
Tammy.
if you smile, blink twice if you need help.
You know what I mean? I definitely to get him off my windowsill. But that's the phase we are in right now. Light switching on and
Mm-hmm.
off, and then going to the windowsill, sitting up on and it's literally a high window. It's literally is a typical size of windowsill leading outside, but it's double glazed regardless. He can't, there's no handle, all the handles have been removed for obvious
Yeah.
reasons. But he'll still sit there and licking everywhere, tasting everything, like I like to
Oh
say. So I have to
wow.
constantly be cleaning and wiping and sanitize. So just please, can you get that child for me? Child of mine. That's what we call him. This child of mine. Amazing child of mine. But honestly, it's the joy. I for every wins is just an amazing pleasure. He said,
Mm-hmm.
Mama, yesterday, and someone heard me and said, did Tammy just, I said, oh, you heard? She said, yes, she did. I said, no, I'm so excited. So we're getting there.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
getting that. We're counting our blessings, our benefits, and we're grateful to God. We don't take it for granted. His words, like you said, it's beginning to come to, for me now, it's coming
It's
together.
forming. Yeah.
It's forming. Yeah, that's the word I will use. Forming now. So it's not still clear, but I know what he says most of the time than everybody else because I personally pay particular attention to him. But in terms of activities, my husband, I give it to him. I give it to him. I took him to the park yesterday, and the things he was doing all by himself unaided, I was like, he climbed the stairs up there, went down the slide, zoom, and I'm like, what are you here with me? I'm sure people around there would think, what's wrong with you? He should be able to do that, but no, I didn't think
Yeah.
he could do.
They won't get it.
They did it because I was just screaming and dropping, but then I don't care at this point in time in my life. I was just very happy to see him just get on climbing things, obstacles. I'm like, what? I was taking videos. I'm like, I was showing my husband, yeah, he can do that. I'm like, but you never told me he could do that. Obviously, we do different things with Tammy because of our work schedule. So we all know what we are doing. But it was just great to have this moment. And he's now on the scooter as well. Now he's putting his foot on the scooter and riding. And oh my, that one I've been doing in the house because he got one as a gift. So I assembled it and I just left it. And I'm like, a day will come. This scooter will ride you. Don't worry. Scooter won't ride us. We will ride scooter. So now he's putting his feet on it now. He knows he will come and take you. Yeah, let's go. He wants to move on it. I'm like, yes. So this is the moral of the story. Confession brings possession. You know how they say, put the things before your very eyes so that it becomes your reality? That's exactly what I do constantly. For as many things I want Tammy to eat and to see and to do, I put them out. Things that I know that obviously he can't eat a whole what's it called, scooter. So I will leave that out there for him to see. It's for you. Pens, barrels, those I take away, but we've learned how to hold it now and draw. Okay, no, scribble. I think that's the right word to use. We scribble, and we go to the left and to the right, and we are holding it. We got those big, massive one. I've forgotten the name, but the big one. That's the chunky one. That's what we have right now. So that's what he's using to move around. Before everything will go into his mouth, but now he's paying attention to drawing and moving. And we worked on our fine motor skills. So now he can use this. And never, like I said, there's so much you never know that you do just
or you
like
take
that.
for granted. You
Yeah.
don't switch your
He
brain
could not
on
do that. I know it's
to
simple.
identify those things. Yeah.
He could not do that until his teacher, we had to do this. This was one of the activities we did for him. And we started counting how many he could do from 2 to 5 and kept on going like that. He could not. Now he just does it. Before he couldn't. It's just amazing. That's fine motor skills, guys. In case you're wondering, it's classified fine motor skills. Yeah, I know you know, but yeah, just in case other people are wondering, what are they talking about? It's classified fine motor skills. So I have them here because when he comes to play with me, or this is my office desk, I'm like, let's do some activities. Let's take the most of the opportunity and do something. So I do have some pegs. I have another one. I like this one. So yeah, so every opportunity is a learning opportunity, and
Sure is.
you need to, like I said, be kind to yourself, to every other person around who is seeing a child that you don't quite understand, and that's the word I want to use. Please just show a little bit of love, in the stores, throwing themselves up and down or wanting a particular thing or wearing earmuffs, you know, or carrying the iPad and going like that because the mom knows that that is what will get them out and about to do what they need to do and still explore the world and not just be locked up in the room or in the house. Some in buggies and they are being pushed and you're thinking, why is this 8-year-old in a buggy? Please don't say that. Please don't. Please don't. I beg in the name of God and all that is good. You don't know the half of it. The child needs fresh air, needs sunlight, and they need to find a way, method, that will work, and that is working, and they're doing it.
Yeah, true.
And the face, eventually the child might decide to get up from the buggy and be like, I don't want. I used to do buggy with Tammy until he decided, no, thank you, I want to work. And I was like, thank you, God. We moved from one phase or one level to another. So 2 more questions before, like I said, we could be here till forever. You can see, I'm looking at my time thinking, oh my gosh, me and Taiwo have been here forever. We will not leave. But I will ask for maybe just do 1 more question and we'll wrap it up. And I say, what has parenting a child on the spectrum, how has it shaped you personally in terms of your mindset, your patience, your faith, your life, what you do? How has that contributed or not contributed to the person that you are today right now?
And that's a fantastic question. Thank you so much for asking. I think the first word that sprang to my mind when you said that was resilience. But I almost certainly have to come up with my faith first. I'm a typical average Nigerian, British, whatever you want to call it, home. So my particular upbringing, I remember when I first sort of had this, my mom's quite open anyway. Thank God for her. She's just someone you can have a conversation with.
Absolutely.
But I remember when we first sort of talked about this, one of the first things she said to me was, I told you not to have this child at home. Oh. You did not listen. Look at what's happened now. I was like, Bob, this has got nothing to do with anything.
Home birth delivery.
In the same breath, she said that. She went, I rejected him, Jesus' name. That is not his passion. Whatever the doctors have said, that is the doctor. In the same breath, she was like, so what's medication and so what do we do? How do we fix it? And I was like, But I say all of that to say that that interaction
Yes.
comes in different guises and different facets,
Mm.
but it's a daily thing.
Yes.
And that's what living or parenting a child that is exceptionally able, that's how I choose to say it. That's how parenting a child who's exceptionally able, that's what it takes. You
Mm.
know, you've got to be able to adapt,
Yes.
you know, adaptability, resilience, you know, um, focus. Sorry, someone's trying to get me.
Okay.
Um, and just really paying attention. I think we talked about this earlier as well,
Yes.
about being really double down, like just focusing on this is what this season in the life of my child looks like, and these
Yes.
are the steps that I need to take
Hmm.
to to, to make it better. I think that's it.
Okay. Awesome. For me, I think what that has done for me is more than ever, it's giving me the oomph, the inner drive to remain as positive as ever as I can ever be. And I thought I did not have patience. I realized, oh my gosh, patience is daily bread. And my faith, oh my gosh, my belief in God has been the one holding me up. So I find myself spending more time, being intentional about what I'm listening to, what I'm watching, about my environment in terms of my circle. And every day is an intentional day, is a gratitude day. I was saying to my ladies yesterday, we graduated. I have a cohort of ladies that I do like a 10 weeks program, and we graduated yesterday. And I was showing them my gratitude jar yesterday. I said it was a small one. I just made it up.
Well,
Yeah.
well,
And I say every week I put
there's
something in.
mine. I don't know if
There
you can
you
see it. My
go.
screen is
Yeah,
red.
cheers to gratitude. Yeah, exactly. So we need to have things that keep, and you see how everything is around me because I need it. They keep me
Yep,
going because I have moments that I'm like in word high, and then when the low comes, I quickly grab a pick me up, and this is one of my pick me ups because it does put a smile on my face because I just need to open the
absolutely.
jar. I just need to pick one out and read the week. I do colors. I love colors. So I do post-it note with different colors. I just need to read one of that. And by the time I read one or two, I'm like, yes, and that's it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. That's my pick me up. So what has parenting a child on spectrum, what shaped me? Oh, I don't see impossibility anymore. Impossibility does not exist anymore for me, regardless of what anyone says. There are too many miracles, no matter how tiny or minute, from the first mama that I heard, or the first hallelujah I heard in church that he said, and I almost lost it. Like he just said hallelujah, and he still saying hallelujah, by the way. Hallelujah was his first word. Can I say to everyone? Those were the first one my son said. On the 31st of December, I don't know the year, but in church, those were his first words, hallelujah. And since then, I said, Hallelujah will never cease in my life. As you've just confirmed it that I'm definitely on the right track. That's also where Tammy's first was Hallelujah in church on the 31st of December. The year jumped me now, but that was his
Wow.
first word. And we still say Hallelujah till now. So when they ask me
Hallelujah.
speech therapists, what are the words? I'll say Hallelujah. They're looking at me, huh? I'm like, yeah, Hallelujah. Those were his first words. I know what I'm saying. I'm not making it up. Oh, so yes, it's helped me to my inner drive, my focus, choose my battles, major on my major, minor on my minor, and
Yep,
protecting my mental well-being more than ever, jealously guarding it.
absolutely.
Before that, I was
Yeah,
very
that's
careless about
important.
it. I'm
Because I think
like,
I'm so
oh,
sorry to speak over you, but I want to
yes,
just say
okay,
something quickly as you're saying it
yes,
out. That's dropped to my mind.
mm,
It's important to center yourself as a mom,
mm,
but sometimes we can forget
mm,
the things that we need in
mm.
trying to meet the needs of our children.
Oh, that's yes. Mm.
Sorry to, I just
No, no,
felt
no.
important. It's
Yeah,
important
yeah,
to say that.
100%, 100%. I agree with you. So, for as many who know me, I'm called the Honorable Minister of Enjoyment. I do like to, before my children came, one of the things I've always was to explore the world and to enjoy life in every form,
Yep,
I say to myself, God brought me here for a reason. It can't just be to pay bills and die. There has to be more to this world, and there has to be more to all this. Just being
Yes,
a wife,
ma'am.
just having a 9 to 5. There has to be. Surely, I'm like, how boring can the world? No, it did not go down well with me, and so I'm that person that would explore and try new things.
Mm,
Fail forward because I know what not to do again, so that if I have to come
yeah,
back through this journey again, I know how not to do
so
it
true.
because I
So
will then
true.
move, spring forward. That's me. The amount of risk I've taken. I could not write a book. It
Mm,
will be endless in terms of the things I try. And my brain is that kind of brain that I keep getting new things per second, per minute. I just had to open a book and call it the
wow.
book of impossibility, the book of possibility, and just start brain dumping. So when I have this idea, I just write it down. I say it's for another day, or maybe it's for someone else to do, not me. I
Mm,
literally come up with ideas as like that, and I just keep writing. I'm like, I can't implement all of these things, but I'm saying this to say that what has parenting done for me, especially with Tammy, patience, love on a different level. You think you love when you have a child with autistic, because it's non-verbal and we are improving our vocals, words right now. We're building our vocabulary and words. When his tummy is aching or his head is aching, and you are trying to guess, is it the head? Is it the stomach? Is it the leg? It is then you will know what love. Because you be like, can I take this? And then I'll remember the scripture. Ah, Jesus, the Bible is so complete in everything that Jesus Christ, even on the cross, said, Lord, Lord, help me. Can you take it away? Like I'm feeling it, take it away, but not. It's still your will, Lord. He still said it's still your will. And I'll be in
let
that.
your will be done.
Yes, oh, still, he cried out like a human because he came down as man. But at the end of it all, he said, nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done. Huh? And I'll be like, Lord, help me. Can I just take this? You look at him, he's helpless, and you know, and when they ask me, for every time everyone has asked me, what is the one thing you want for Tammy right now? I want him to express himself with me with words
It
because
will
he expresses
come.
himself in everywhere. He does because
It
I
will
know when
come.
he wants to, when he's done the pool, he will either remove the nappy and throw it away, or I see the smell letting me know something has happened, or
Hmm.
I know he's hungry. He brings his cup, his plate. We, I know he communicates. So this is not I want words.
It will come.
And that's what I've learned.
You will be completely blown away. Hmm.
Trust me, I'm with you, and everyone will hear the last of it. You will know me anyway. I'm
My
not that
goodness.
quiet, but I'm saying this to say that yes, I have become a better person because of Tammy. And that's looking at it from the bright side, despite all that has happened. You mentioned resilience. Even my son, when he was asked to describe me, he used the word resilience to describe me. I wouldn't have called myself that. I would have thought I'm a tough cookie, but he said you're resilient. Nothing can bring you down. I'm like, why? Stay down for what? As in, what is the benefit? I don't see the benefit. No.
Mm.
Cry, stand up, clean your eyes and move. That's the way I
And
see
go
it.
on.
Yes, I'm not saying don't cry. It's valid. That moment, that time, the pain is real. Yes, cry. Trust me. Scream, shout, I do all of that. And then I get up next. And
Mm.
that's what I want to say for
Mm.
myself because we are both sharing together.
Yeah,
Now,
no, that's brilliant. And thank you for sharing. I think just as you were talking, it also occurred to me that we haven't looked at this from the context of the other children.
okay.
And it's important to also add that, where the autistic child is not the only child in the family, it's important to bring everybody in on the journey. So it wasn't a closed thing for us where, oh, you can't tell anybody outside that, your brother's on the spectrum, it's a family secret, and, no.
Nah,
And then it's not like, oh, we have to sort of put all of the focus and attention because we're all scrabbling around this child. And no, we're all working together.
that's right.
We got to a point, this might sound strange, but I had to create a family creed. Like we had a statement that we had to recite as a family, like this is who we are,
That's
this
right.
is what we do, and this is what we're about.
Done. Love it.
And for me, that just, again, you mentioned this earlier. I'm not sitting here and telling you that I've done all of these things. I'm like superwoman. No, a lot of it has come from the place of prayer and persistence. And like you say, just crying out to God, like, I need you to help me parent this child. And I'm saying this for all the Christian women that will listen to this, and even the non Christians as well. If you're thinking, it's all going to pot and I don't really know how to fix this. You tried everything, try Jesus.
Yes.
Some people might tell you, oh, I'm not into all this okiri pokeri stuff. But what if that's what works and that's what's going to fix it for you?
For you.
If you don't try it,
You will
you're
never
never
know.
going to know. Yeah.
Mm.
So for me, all of that comes from a place of praying, a place of faith, a place of really talking to God about not just my child who's on the spectrum, but all of my children and bringing everybody, the whole family
Yes.
on the journey.
Thank you for adding that to the conversation because indeed it has been a family journey for us as well, of educating because I'm
Yeah.
learning and as much knowledge as I'm getting, I'm passing down to everyone, buying books, buying material, watching YouTube video, but more importantly, involving my boys, to me and Toby, with Tammy, and trying to tell them he's not deaf, he's not dumb, he's not stupid, because he's not saying words right now does not mean he does not understand exactly what you're doing and explaining and breaking it down and using the real life examples. And so when I say, Tammy, come,
Yeah. Tell,
look
tell
at,
them about the other children that were complete. At least Tammy has hallelujah. There
mm,
were we started from zero.
mm,
We started from sign language.
yeah,
Sign language that I didn't understand. And I was getting very frustrated because I had
rated.
no idea, no clue.
Mm, mm,
It got so bad to a point where if he wanted something, my son would move to that thing and
mm.
stand there. He could stand there for hours. And if
Waiting for you
nobody
to,
knew what he wanted at that time, we
wow.
could all just think, oh, he's just having a moment in the corner.
Mm.
What he wants is in that space. And he'll just stand there quietly.
Oh, bless. Oh. Tammy will take your hand to it, and now he goes to the air fryer and pulls it, takes it to the freezer, bring it out. He knows the process. Bring it out from there and put it in, and it's
Now, how can you tell me that that child is
yeah,
not exceptionally able when he can do all
he,
of that uninitiated?
yes, yeah,
It
he
just
knows
expresses, it's just a different way of expressing
expression, and that's the right way to look at it, which is why I said that
feeling.
what is actually normal. He knows where everything is. So if you are like you are confused, he will tell you, me and come, just he will hold your hand, let's go. If he wants to go out, he'll take you to the door. Door is let's go. The moment you wear his coat for him, he knows we are going now. So it's like, yeah, let's go. With one coat, let's go. So if you keep him a minute, you are looking for trouble.
No,
Let's
yeah,
go.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
don't wear coat for him if you're not to go out because you
Very, very, very straight down the line. There's
as
no, well,
in
certainly mine.
yeah. So, yes, it's like I said, it's a journey that has been very, very interesting. But we've involved the boys. We started with one, two, three. We do activities. The latest one he was doing yesterday that to me was showing me that when not now, maybe a few months ago, we will do like handstand. So we'll raise his feet up and we'll get him to move his hand to move forward and move backward. He's doing it by himself now. So he's putting his hand on the floor and he's going and he was like, what's this boy doing? And I said, don't you remember when we do wheelbarrow and we're holding? He said, oh, I said, that's exactly, he's doing it. So he doesn't need you to do it for him. He's one, literally, this is yesterday. And I was just giggling that they have a memory bank
Oh
of
yeah, oh yeah. The
where
memory
things
bank
is
is
high.
limitless.
And that's why I said, anything you don't want Tammy to do, don't let him see it.
Those show.
If you block the door with a heavy load and you think it's heavy, he will see how you put it there. When you move, he will follow that same technique and move it away. That's why we knew that if that we get a lock because putting things in front of the door to as barrier, as barricade, nah. He will watch you and he will go and do it. So that's why I told him if you're locking the door, don't let him see how you are doing. If he sees it, he realize you turn the key, he will turn the key and open the door and just go outside. Like
Yeah,
that's not working. So if you lock the door, remove the key, or don't let him see what you're doing. Literally, that's the trick. Don't let him see what you're doing because he's going to go and try it.
yeah.
Oh,
Copy, they do repeat a lot of stuff.
so it's been a very, very powerful
Look at us.
session.
We said we've been here 90 minutes.
Yes, yes, and we could continue, but we have to put a stop to it because as with everything that has a good beginning,
Thank you
has a good
so
end.
much
I'm
for the
so grateful for
platform.
the honesty, vulnerability, and the strength shared in today's conversation. I'm
Thank
hoping that you
you.
felt that from our heart as we are sharing. And remember, we've said that we are not experts and we're not belittling anybody's experience because
Nope.
I want to say I swear to God, but I'm not swearing to God. But the truth is that the pain is real. The pain is real. The loneliness is real. But I just want to encourage you. especially you listening to me right now, who has an autistic child right now, going through your own battles. We've all been there for as many people who have, and we are still going through it. Like Taiwo has keep saying to me, we are still going through that journey, and it's a journey that, as with any child, I'm still a baby in my mom's eyes. It never
Mm,
ends, and you need to put it in. I'm still a baby. Anything that concerns me,
true.
my mom is still running health task. That is the same thing.
True.
It's just a different challenge, a different angle, a
That
different
is
way to
so
approach it
true.
and to look. I'm still a baby. I watch on, I'm not sure if it's TikTok or is on Instagram of, I think a 59-year-old autistic uncle, because it was the niece, I think, talking about him, saying the mom, his wife died, so he's staying with them, and he loves going on merry-go-round, like those amusement park thing. And she was just showing videos of him. He was sitting together and doing the recording of how happy, obviously it was a voiceover, of how happy he was getting on with life, smiling, and just, I'm like, they will still enjoy life regardless. I saw
Yeah.
another video again. Obviously, for obvious reason, I have a lot of autistic video on my phone, of another one that is severely disabled. But his brother created a tricycle where he could place him on the side so that he could smell, and you could see the joy in him, the little child there with his brother as well by his side, enjoying the moment of fresh air out there in the world. And so, trust me, it is not the end of the world. It's a
Mhm.
different type of journey that you will navigate in your own space, in your own pace,
Yeah.
to your own will. Who told you how to do it? There is no manual that
Yeah.
says this is how it has to be done. You will create what works for you, what creates for your
Yeah.
child. It was given to you. And for God to do that, He knows that you can, without a shadow of doubt, take care of this child. And if you do need support, like we've said and we are saying again, we have the medical services available, their friends, their families available. You just need to pick the one that fits and works well for you. So if you
Yeah.
are watching this, or you'll be reading some of the comments that I'll be sharing under this post, and you have learned something new, that's what awareness looks like. If your heart feels a little more open, that is the beginning of inclusion. So
Yeah.
let's remember, in closing, autism does not need to be fixed. I say it again. It needs to be understood.
Yeah.
And behind every autistic child, there is a parent navigating this journey
There's a
with
super
grace.
mom.
Yes, with grit and with love. And this is just one story. There are so many more
Right.
to be
Yeah.
heard, and that is the honest truth. So let's keep this conversation going all through April and beyond.
Yeah.
Tag a friend when you watch this eventually, and share this post and help us share this awareness, one conversation at a time. And once again, thank you, Taiwo, for joining me on
Thank you
this
for having
amazing
me.
journey of conversation about autism. I'm hoping that you had a good time. I did. It's always a happy moment for me. But I'll leave you in closing. Where can people find you if they want to connect with you? Because aside being caring and loving and being a mom to a wonderful autistic child, you still do amazing things in your space as well. So where can people find
Oh
you?
yes, I'm on some of the social media handles very quietly, but yes, I'm also on LinkedIn. So if people want to connect that way, then that's more than fine. But I also think it's important to, certainly from this particular topic, to maybe channel this in a sort of controlled way through motherhood aid. So I think if anybody has any questions or anything that I've shared today that they want to hear more on, then maybe the first point is to reach out to Talks, and then we can connect and try and help in whatever way, shape, manner, form. I'm an advocate for change and doing things, in a way that adds value. Is what I do as a day job. So I'm I know that there'll be more of these opportunities to have a conversation and put this topic in the spotlight. So it just leaves me to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to you watching as well for giving of your time or listening back
Yes.
to this. Super grateful for the engagement. It encourages us to do more and more of these things. So thank you. Thank you so much for the platform. And again,
Thank you. Once
thank
again,
you for
thank
the
you,
opportunity.
Taiwo.
I'm supremely grateful and I've had a fantastic I just looked at the clock and I was like, oh my goodness, where did the time go? But yes,
Yes.
time flies when you're having fun. Time
Indeed it
flies when you're in
does.
the right company with the right people doing the right thing. So
Absolutely.
thank
Absolutely.
you so
Thank
much. God
you.
bless you all.
Yeah.
And yeah, I look forward to coming on again and
Yes. Many more opportunities, like you
talking
said.
about more seasons.
So thank you, everyone. God bless you. I will close by saying that the Lord be with you, keep you, guide you, and for every season that you're in right now, His loving arms will wrap, like I always say, Holy Spirit will wrap His loving arms all around you. You will feel His
Amen.
comfort, His peace. Like Jesus Christ
Amen.
said, be, to the storm. Peace be
Be
still. I
still.
calm every storm, every still,
Mm.
and for every child as well, for every journey or for every season that you are in, that you know what to do, you know who to speak to, you know where to get help and the support that you need because they are available to you. And more than ever, Jesus loves you. So thank you,
Yes.
everyone. And yeah, see you again on another autism awareness with another amazing, amazing, amazing mom. So take care and thank you, Taiwo again. Mwah.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone. Bye bye.